What we can't say is just because the fight was at such a exhilarating pace and it was so brutal that all of a sudden someone after the fight is exhausted or goes to the hospital like that. That's what happens in fights like that.
Oh man, just didn't come with the right.
Don't worry about your bitch ass. I've been respectful with you all my life.
Urgent reports are coming out of the Teofimo Lopez camp tonight. Teofimo Lopez Jr. has reportedly been admitted to the hospital following his bout with Shakur Stevenson, triggering serious concern about his condition. Emotions boiled over immediately as Teofimo Lopez Sr. went public, and the story shifted fast, from a tough loss to a situation centered on safety and fear.
Would you go to the UK for that? Would you go to the UK for that? Would you go to the UK for that?
I'll go to the UK. I'll go wherever the fuck. I go to his backyard. You know, screw that motherfucker. You know, but
I mean, it's uncanny. So yeah, I would think. I mean, battered, both battered, exhausted. Like, you know, it was a brutal fight.
As more information circulates, the tone around this situation grows heavier. While specific medical details remain limited, the message being pushed is intentional. This is no longer being framed as routine post-fight damage. The language coming from the camp signals urgency, anxiety, and a scramble to reshape how the aftermath is being understood.
When he was getting hurt, he kept getting up and he showed heart. You know, it probably would have been easy to stay down and not get your teeth shoved into your fucking...
Lopez Jr. took sustained punishment throughout the fight and continued despite clear signs of damage. Now, with hospitalization confirmed, that toughness is being re-examined. What was once praised as grit is now viewed through a different lens: prolonged exposure to danger. Serious questions are being raised about the calls made while the fight was still unfolding.
Health conditions. What kind? I don't know. He didn't go into specifics, but I think he posted this video to show the severity, the seriousness of what...
Eddie Hearn weighed in by focusing on structure rather than chaos. He pointed to balance, discipline, conditioning, and clean execution across the rounds. That perspective matters because it directly clashes with the explanation coming from the Lopez camp. It shifts the conversation away from excuses and back to what actually happened over 12 rounds.
I just think Shakur looked strong. You know, Shakur looked like he was punching very hard. His jab was on point. His footwork was incredible. It's his timing. It's his fitness.
The concern doesn't stop at injuries. Analysts are revisiting the performance itself. Missed punches, timing issues, and awkward movement are no longer dismissed as a bad night. Instead, the fight is being reinterpreted as an early warning, signs that something may have been wrong long before the final bell.
Despite the outcome, I don't think he looked great in the fight. He was missing, and his timing seemed off. He was doing some weird stuff.
Bruce Carrington highlighted repeated positional errors and poor defensive awareness from Lopez. He emphasized that clear openings never truly appeared and framed the bout as structurally one-sided early on. When combined with sustained punishment, those mistakes help explain why hospitalization is now part of the story. The commentary exposes a harsh truth. Courage without adjustment can become dangerous very quickly.
Man, he made it easy. You know, I was saying, like, if Teo was to fight more on a back foot and throw punches when Shakur throws, that's the only time you're going to get Shakur. But Teo, he has a habit of getting out of position all the time. He'll double up his right hand, turn square, or turn southpaw. Like, that's not going to work, bro. That's not going to, you're not going to take up enough space to touch Shakur. Shakur's reflexes and his countering was just keeping Teo at bay. It was an easy night from round one for him.
Bruce Carrington returned to the issue, stressing how easily Lopez became overwhelmed and repeatedly exposed to damage. At this point, the hospitalization feels less like a shock and more like a consequence. Structural mistakes compounded round after round, turning talent disparity into real danger. Lopez Sr.'s public panic now reads as fear, not theatrics.
Shakur looked phenomenal, you know, dominant performance. Just what'd you think about that?
Man, he made it easy. You know, I was saying, like, if Tio was to fight more on the back foot and throw punches when Shakur throws, that's the only time you're going to get Shakur. But Tio, he has a habit of getting out of position all the time. He'll double up his right hand, turn square, or turn southpaw. Like, that's not going to work, bro. That's not going to, you're not going to take up enough space to touch Shakur. Shakur's reflexes and his countering was just keeping Tio at bay. It was an easy night from round one for him.
Shakur Stevenson also shared his view of the exchanges, calmly breaking down timing and contact without emotion. At the time, it sounded purely technical. Now, with health concerns dominating the discussion, those comments take on heavier meaning, reinforcing how consistently Lopez absorbed clean shots.
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like he's a fighter, so he tried to fight back. But yeah, I picked him apart. In the second round, I want to say that I told my corner, I said, I'm stronger than he is.
Did you feel like you hurt him at any point in the fight?
Yeah, for sure. I hurt him a couple times. My jab, my left hand to the body, my left hand up top. I put him.
Coach Whale Ali spoke as if nothing alarming had occurred, praising titles, legacy, and achievement. But from a breaking news perspective, that optimism sharply contrasts with reports of Lopez Jr. being hospitalized. Public celebration collides with real-world consequences, forcing fans to question what's happening behind closed doors. The narrative shifts from accomplishment to responsibility.
Man, I'm very excited. You know, I said this was another legacy fight for him, and
Absolutely.
he got a chance to, you know, establish his legacy once again, winning another title at 140 pounds. So I'm very enthusiastic about his future and very proud of his performance.
Claressa Shields added to that by mentioning blood and visible damage during the fight. Her comments reinforce how extreme the physical toll was. The discussion now balances elite execution with medical reality. Praise can't erase injury, and the distress from the Lopez camp, especially from Teofimo Sr., begins to feel fully justified.
Boxing. and like I told y'all, we was gonna see a little bit of athleticism, but we was gonna see Shakur be using his jab, going to the body, and we saw blood today. Shakur did great today. Only thing I can ask for is stoppage. I can't ask for nothing else.
Claressa Shields referenced the scorecards, indirectly highlighting the non-stop punishment Lopez endured. 11 rounds of control and repeated clean shots reframe the outcome entirely. Celebration of Stevenson's brilliance now runs parallel with concern over Lopez's health. The anger and distress from his father finally have full context. This crossed from competition into something medically alarming.
Emphatically, 119, I think, so 109 was the scorecard, so basically like 11 rounds to 1. What did you think about the outcome and the fact that he was able to win so dominantly?
One, shout out to New York. To Bruce Carrington, he's world champion now. I'm so proud of him.
Fact.
Been watching him fight the undercards and all this stuff forever, and to see him become a world champion tonight, I was bawling, I was crying, yo. So shout out to him. He shine every time he come out to see his story, see how much he done overcame everything. Now he get his 12th round knockout, looking good against Jermaine Ortiz.
Eddie Hearn later emphasized Stevenson's dominance again, pointing out Lopez's frustration and visible facial damage. Seen through a breaking news lens, those observations underline why hospitalization followed. What sounded like technical praise now reads as confirmation of how punishing the fight truly was. This wasn't just a clean loss. It came with real physical consequences.
I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Is that what you expected from Shakur? No?
I mean, listen, I expected an incredible performance, but I didn't expect it to be completely one-sided. I mean, he won every round, in my opinion. It like the golfing levels was phenomenal. And I said to Bud, like, going into this job, he could do 40 rounds, Shakur. Like, never out of control, footwork, timing, shot selection. I actually think he could have stopped Teofimo.
Daniel Jacobs focused on the skill gap, noting that Lopez Jr. never truly controlled the fight. That analysis shifts attention to what happens when a fighter is consistently outmatched. Constant pressure and repeated exchanges begin to explain how a technical defeat turns into a health crisis, pushing the story into breaking news territory.
Was my guy, but I've always been a fan of Shakur. And I think that Shakur put on a clinic tonight. Least amount of risk. Been able to put his skill set into fruition all night. The jab was leading. You can tell the difference in skill set, and that was the difference to me that made the fight. It wasn't about grit, it wasn't about heart, it was about sheer talent. And Shakur displayed that tonight.
Devin Haney pointed out something even more troubling. Lopez Jr. appeared unfocused before the fight ever started. In hindsight, that observation carries serious weight. Mental lapses combined with in-ring punishment now paint a picture of systemic failure. What looked minor before the bell now feels like a red flag that was missed.
What did you make of it?
At the end of the day, if you look at interviews before the fight, I was saying that, something looked off about him. He looked like he just wasn't really focused on the fight. He said my name before the...
Edgar Berlanga echoed the dominant narrative while emphasizing the physical damage Lopez sustained over all 12 rounds. The fight now looks less like a contest and more like an endurance trial that pushed him beyond safe limits. What appeared effortless for one fighter translated into a serious health scare for the other, turning the bout into a cautionary tale.
Easy work. My brother Shakur spanked his ass 12 rounds like I told him he would. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of my brother, man. He did his thing, man.
What stood out the most with Shakur right now?
Say it again?
What stood out the most with Shakur?
Huh?
What stood out the most with Shakur tonight versus Teofimo? Wait, what you said? What stood out the most?
Oh, Shakur. I already knew he was going to box his ass out. Like, he was going to box him out. Easy work. You know what I'm saying? Shakur's a special talent in the sport of boxing, man, and he's been like that.
The aftermath continues to dominate headlines as Teofimo Lopez Jr. remains hospitalized following a brutal encounter with Shakur Stevenson. Sources close to the camp describe deep concern and emotional shock. Teofimo Lopez Sr. has been outspoken and furious, demanding accountability and questioning decisions made in the ring. Analysts are revisiting every round, every missed adjustment, every warning sign. This situation underscores the razor-thin line between elite competition and real danger. Now the boxing world is left debating what comes next, for Lopez's future, for fighter safety, and for oversight at the highest level. So let us ask you, whose side are you on? Drop your thoughts below and join the conversation.